Bon dia, sports fans. Skip Drew here with his latest video. Apologies for not posting. I think it's been 5 weeks since my last video, but the major interest in this channel is sailing, and I've not been sailing. I've been in Portimao on Portugal's Algarve since just before Christmas. I do intend to be doing more about the places I'm seeing, so not just the offshore adventures but the onshore adventures, which is what this video is going to be about. I'm going to show you a little bit of 3 primary conurbations of the Algarve: Lagos, Portimao, which I'm in now, and Faro and Albufeira, so that's 4, can't count. You join me now on the way for my morning poo cut. So I'm in Portimao. I've been here at least 4 weeks. I try not to count the days when I'm in a marina because I'm always here for a particular reason, like getting some kit or some work done to the boat. My idea is not really to spend more than a week anywhere and continue moving, so I don't spend the next 8 years at sea, and I get home to my family after seeing the world and experiencing it at a pace that I think is respectful.
Now, this just in, police officers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, were asking people to be on the lookout for a man who robbed a store. And I think we do have his description. Can we take that? Let's take his description.
I've also had riggers onto the boat, because when I bought the boat back in May, I did pay 550 earth pounds for a surveyor, but I basically did the survey and told him what to look at and the state of these things. But anyway, he wasn't a rigger, so the rigging is almost 20 years old. I'm not even going to say how often you should get the rig done, that's each to their own, but I have been concerned that I don't know the state of the rigging. And when I come round the Cape of Death, Cape Finisterre, and got hit by 3 squalls, the astute of you may remember I had some mystery metal objects in my leeward scupper hole. The water drain hole was full of what looked like rivets or pins of some description. At the time I thought it was the Traveller, but I've been looking at the Traveller online and other boats, and mine still appears to be as it was intended to be. It doesn't look broken much, but nothing from there matches the description of the articles I found within the leeward scupper hole. So I wanted a rigger to go, because the next obvious thing was somewhere on the rigging, but they have said it's pretty good, clean bill of health. I'm getting 2 reefing lines replaced. I'm swapping out the halyard, which was a bit stiff and was getting a little bit hard to hoist the mainsail fully. It was getting a little bit trapped at the top of the car at the mast, so I'm having that replaced with thinner Dyneema, which will be stronger and a lot more seaworthy and reliable. Interlude, you can see from the last 2 days we've only had 30 odd knots, but it's been absolutely horrendous in the marina. 3 boats have ended up on the beach over there. I haven't slept for 2 nights, which is probably explaining why I'm just rambling on at 1,000 miles an hour. It's been the best and the worst marina I've ever stayed in. When it's calm conditions, The prevailing winds here are northerlies, so it's well protected from the northerlies. You can't even see the ocean from here, so it's 99% enclosed. But down there is the entry, and when it's southwesterly, the waves come through. Well, you can barely see any waves, but it's very turbulent. So we only got 30 knots 2 nights ago in a thunderstorm, but 3 boats on that beach over there. I've got 7 lines on the boat, 2 of them snapped. I've got a fair lead snapped off. It feels like it's pulling the tow rail off the boat. I've got lines coming from the winches to help it stabilise, but it was just constant noise and just absolutely chaotic, just rocking around all over the place. So it's been awful for 2 nights, but it's now back again. Luckily the southwesterlies aren't that frequent. Like I said, it's northerlies, so it's only once in a blue moon. So during the winter you've got a chance of that occurring here, and then during the summer the northerlies are definitely more prevalent, but then you get some dust and sand from the beaches and actually coming up from the Sahara, which is a small problem to pay to be in a beautiful place like this, but it's also the same in southern areas of Spain, I know from experience. Right, what else is happening? So my plan is, once I've got this kit sorted, I'll be heading to Gibraltar. My wife, the dear Lady Mia, will be sending me some MPPT controllers that I'll fit on the boat there. Gibraltar is a tax-free zone. I think that's for everybody, but I'm a British passport holder, and Gibraltar is a British overseas territory, so I don't know whether that's the case, but a yacht in transit will not be paying VAT, so that saves about 23% as opposed to having it sent to Portugal. Then, weather dependent, I will either be heading for Rabat in Morocco or Madeira in the Atlantic. Then down to the Canary Islands. This is all ideal scenario, weather dependent, but then I'd like 2 or 3 weeks in the Canary Islands, see 1 or 2 of the islands there, get down to the Cape Verdes, see 2 or 3 islands there, and get across the Atlantic. The plan is to always be on the right ocean at the right time. So if I'm on the Atlantic in June, I'm at the wrong ocean at the wrong time. So that's my time frame, to get across the Atlantic by the end of May ideally, to make sure I'm not being silly and getting caught out by storms mid-ocean. So we shall see. My neighbours, a nice couple on the boat next to me, have made a sex tape. Now obviously they don't know that yet.
Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Oh yeah. Bloody hell. I'm sweating here. Roasting. Boiling. Baking. Sweltering. It's like a sauna. Furnace. You can fry an egg on my stomach.
Pork au vent with Mexican spices and enough garlic to down a vampire. It's kind of international cooking, which I suppose you'd expect if you do a bit of travel. I was recently in Brazil and I bought some fruit from some local indigenous people, and they turned around and said people who bought on Amazon also bought these sausages. And this is Zhao, a local fireman who is also a scuba diving instructor, spearfisherman and Uber taxi. He catches fish and his sister sells them in the local market. Now, if I had a crystal ball, I'd sit down very carefully